Hi, my name is Brittany Farrell, and this is my presentation on peer tutoring for KPALS. KPALS is a peer tutoring collaboration in which students work on reading skills such as letter sounds, rhyming, sight words, and CVC words. This is for students in kindergarten. They complete these activities 3 days a week in 20-minute sessions. My objectives for KPALS will be as follows. Students will work in groups of 2 to complete activity sheets. Students will produce the most common sound for each letter of the alphabet. Students will read sight words. Students will blend CVC words. Students will read simple sentences containing sight words and CVC words. And students will identify rhyming pictures. Here is an example of what a typical KPAL session looks like. Students work through the activities in pairs, coloring in a smiley face each time an activity is completed. In the first activity on the left, students work through the letters, producing letter sounds. In the middle activity, students read sight words, and on the bottom activity, students read CVC words and simple sentences containing sight words and CVC words. In the activity on the right, students color pictures or point to pictures that rhyme. The first 2 images show an example of words that rhyme, for example, pan and van, and then students must identify the picture on the right that rhymes with the ones on the left. So in the first example, they would point to the man or say the word man. And then they would color in the smiley face on the bottom after they complete each activity. Here are my rules for a KPAL session. My students, since they are in kindergarten, respond well to simple rules that include visuals. My 5 rules include look. The students should look at their partners. Listen. The students should listen to their partners and listen for directions. Partner voice. In my classroom, we have a 5-point scale for our voice levels. For this activity, students should use their partner voice. Take turns. Students will take turns completing activities. And wait. Students will wait as needed for given directions or to take their turn to complete activities. My first procedure will be for finding their partners. Students will look at the board where pictures will be displayed of themselves under either a circle or a triangle. Their pictures will be next to their partner's picture. If they are in the column with the circle, they will be the partner to get up and move to sit next to their partner. If they are in the column with the triangle, that student will stay seated. Also, the person that is under the circle will be responsible for collecting materials as they walk to sit next to their partner. Students should use walking feet as they are collecting materials and moving to their new seats. Once they sit down, they will say hello to their partners, and then they will sit quietly and wait for directions. Here is my script for finding your partner. I will give a brief summary of this procedure, and I will attach the scripts as well, including my presentation. First, I will set the stage. A signal will go off to tell the students it is time to have quiet mouths and turn their attention to the front of the room. This is where the smartboard is located. A description of the activity will be provided to students, along with why it is important. It is important to be able to find our partners independently so we can get ready to work quickly and quietly. There will be a quick check for understanding, and then the students will have an explanation of what to do. This will simply be a presentation of the procedure with a quick description for the students. Then myself and my aide will model the procedure for our students. Students will have guided practice where they will practice each step individually to build on one another. Finally, students will have a session for independent practice, beginning with the timer alerting students that it is time for KPALS and students practicing the whole procedure independently. A closure assessment will be completed where the students are given a piece of paper divided into 5 areas. In each area, the students should write to describe or draw a picture for each step of the procedure. Seating arrangement. The desk in my classroom will be set up into sets of 2. The children's seats will change once every 4 weeks. They will change every 4 weeks because this is how often K-PALS partners will change. However, the students' seats for the whole day will not be located next to their K-PAL partners all day. The seats will be set up, though, so that when partners are displayed on the board, after a student moves, there will be an empty seat for a new partner to sit next to their K-PALS partner. Here is the error correction procedure. When the student that is the tutor realizes that the reader makes a mistake, they will immediately stop their partner by saying, "Stop, you missed that sound," or "you missed that word," depending on which activity is being completed. The student will then provide the correct response. That sound, word, is, and provide the correct answer. Then the student will question, "What is the correct sound or word?" The student that is the reader will provide the correct answer, and the tutor will say, "Good, read that line again." Here is the script for my error correction procedure. Again, I will attach this along with my presentation. It is similar to the procedure for finding partners. First, a signal will be alerted to alert the students that it is time to have quiet mouths and turn their attention to the front of the room. They will be given an explanation as to why this lesson is important. At the end of today's lesson, you will know what to do when your partner makes a mistake during K-PALS. By knowing how to correct your partner, you will be able to work together to learn new skills. I will have a quick check for understanding, and then I will explain the procedure to the students. The procedure sheet will be displayed on the board, and each step will be explained to the students. My aide and myself will model the procedure for my students, and then students will complete guided practice. They will complete the steps one at a time as we practice, and then we will work them through each step, leaving off the last step for the students to complete independently. Finally, students will have a time to practice all of the steps of the procedure independently. The closure, again, will be to give the students a piece of paper divided into areas, and the students will write to describe or draw a picture for each step of the procedure. Here is the procedure sheet for completing activities. Students will first pick up the materials. This will be the circle partner that is moving next to sit next to the triangle partner. Then, the circle partner will be the coach first, while the triangle partner reads. Students will color in a smiley face each time an activity is completed, and then roles will switch. The triangle partner will coach, while the circle partner reads. This will be completed 2 times. The steps for teaching completing activities are again similar to the steps for teaching Find Your Partner and error correction. First, the stage will be set. Students will respond to the timer to have quiet mouths and turn their attention to the front of the room. The explanation will be given as to why this is important. At the end of today's lesson, you will be able to complete a K-PALS activity from start to finish. By being able to complete a K-PALS activity independently, you and your partner will work together to practice and master new skills. Check for understanding, and then an explanation of what to do. Each step will be shown to the students with the visual procedures and explained. My aide and myself will again model the procedure for the students, and then guided practice will be given. Students will then have a chance for independent practice from start to finish, and the closure again will be for the students to write or draw a picture for each step of the procedure. Along with verbal praise being provided to students who are doing well during activities, students will each also have reward punch cards. As the teacher walks around to check on the groups, if they are doing activities as they should be and have good behavior, students will receive a hold punch and their reward punch cards. After they have filled their card with 10 punches, they may choose a reward, such as sit with a friend at lunch, wear socks in the classroom for a day, or maybe even choose to have a popcorn party for the class. Rewards may vary based on what is appropriate in your classroom. Here's my assessment plan. Students will be assessed using curriculum-based measures. They will be assessed bi-weekly. The curriculum-based measures will contain skills that will be covered throughout the school year. This will assess maintenance of skills and acquisition of new skills. The instruction will be adjusted based on how students score on the assessments, and individual goals will be set for students so that they are able to chart and monitor progress. Here is an example of a curriculum-based measure that will be used for letter sound fluency. This particular curriculum-based measure can be found on the Iris Peabody site. Students are provided with a student copy that displays the letters. The teacher gives them an example of what they will be asked to do, and then students are asked to provide the sound for each letter on the sheet, while the teacher can record on their score sheet the correct letters and the letters that the students miss. Here is the teacher's recording sheet for sight word fluency. These are the primer sight words. Students will be assessed with all of the sight words each time they are given the assessment. However, the sight words may be presented in a different order each time. As the students read the sight words, the teacher can record on the sheet the ones that the students get correct and the ones that the students miss. As far as CVC words and simple sentences, the Murrieta, California School provides a list of CVC words for each vowel and simple sentences for each vowel that also contains sight words. A probe will be created for each assessment period that contains CVC words from each vowel and a couple sentences containing each vowel sound and different sight words. I will also attach the sheet with the CVC words and sentences along with this presentation. Rhyming. Here is an assessment that can be used for students rhyming. This particular assessment focuses on phonological awareness for preschool children, but it can also be used with the children in kindergarten working on rhyming skills. The students are presented with 3 words and must find the word that does not rhyme. Here are my references. The first reference focuses on K-PALS. Here you can find a description of the K-PALS program and a description of the lesson activities that students will complete. The Iris Peabody is where I received the assessment tool for letter sound fluency. Murrieta is where I found the assessment tool for CVC words and simple sentences. And the final reference is where I found the assessment tool for rhyming. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Thank you.